Let's do this. Oh, okay. Hopefully the audio comes out good, but my neighbor's mowing right now, so we'll see. The story I want to tell you guys today is be careful what you wish for or what you say, and be more mindful of it, because at least for me, one thing I'm working on is discipline, and that's why I do these ice baths. One day, about 2023, back in, I think it was March, I had the brilliant idea, slightly depressed at the time due to the fact that I was stuck in college and I really didn't want to be there. But I had the brilliant idea, I'm going to take an ice bath. So I went out to a local stream and I submerged myself there for 3 minutes. And in that time, I just became a lot more present. And I was like, this is amazing. And then in that car, I'm like, I'm going to do this every day for the next year. Fast forward 200 something days later, I've been doing it straight for a year. Well, almost a year. But the point of this is, when you say something like that, don't just be like, oh, I said it, I'm going to do it for a year. I said I'm going to stick to the diet. Be like, no, I said I'm going to stick to the diet. I'm going to do it. And I'm just making sure I move around so I stay cold. Another story that I have is about, I want to say 3 weeks ago now, we had a family dinner at my house where I absolutely just gorged myself on 2 steaks and some mashed potatoes. And that night I was full to bursting. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do a 3-day fast, because right now am I currently stuffed, I don't know, what do you want to call it, but when, in that moment, I felt the 3-day fast is going to be an easy thing to do. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. Day 1 comes around, I'm like, fasting's easy, let's do this thing. And some little past history here. I did, I want to say a year and a half where I did the snake diet, which was just 1 meal a day. I tried 48s, but you eat yourself into a food coma for at least 4 hours, and then the rest of the time you're starving, so it's not really that productive, at least when you're trying to do it and you're only around 15% body fat. Oh, give me a second. Okay. So back to the story. Day 1 comes around. It's not that bad. I mean, typical fasting thing. You're pretty cold. Day 2 comes around and I'm like really freaking hungry, man. And I really want to eat. And during this time, I'm on a trip to DC with my brother and his wife. And they're going to Whole Foods and buying food and getting their lunches done. And I'm like, I really want some of that food. And it was like torture being in that store. So I had to remove myself from that environment. But day 3 rolls around and I'm dead tired. It's like 70 degrees out. I'm wrapped up in all these hoodies and stuff, and I'm from New England, so I'm used to the cold. Plus I've been doing the ice baths, but I'm a little bit hangry and I'm just like, ah. But I said that I was gonna do a 3-day fast, so I did a 3-day fast. And through doing this every single day, just relentlessly with the ice baths, you might just like, I was sick as a dog during some of these times. I just tossed myself in that river. And yeah, afterwards my sinuses opened up and I felt good. I guess there's all the adrenaline stuff going through me, but just keep on pushing at it, and eventually you're like, wow, I said that I was going to do that, and I did it. I said I was going to start doing long distance running, and within the first month I did a half marathon. And yeah, my time of 2:15 isn't that good, but I did it, and I'm working up to going longer, going farther, and faster. So, if there's one skill that I think everyone should work on, it's discipline. When you say something, you do it. Another story I have is I recently went on a road trip to visit a friend, and a friend and I from college went on a road trip to visit. Actually, I'm not going to share this one. Okay, I have another one. My brain's like half out of here because I'm cold. In wrestling, we have this tournament called the Bay State Games during the summer, and we're allowed to weigh in a day before the tournament. So everyone cuts insane amount of weight for this. And my goal was to drop down and cut 18 pounds in 3 days. And while that might not be too much, my thinking for it was, well, not that. I'll probably have to reshoot these stories in a little bit, but there's a time after you say you're going to do something when you shut your brain off and just do it. With the fasting, even though I was absolutely stuffed at the time I said I was going to do it, full to the brim on steak and potatoes, and I said I'm going to do a 3-day fast. Day 1 comes around, I'm doing not too bad. Day 2, day 3, I couldn't let myself think about reasons to stop doing it, because there comes a time when you decide you're going to do something that you just need to shut your brain off and do it. Because if you let your brain think about it, you're going to come up with excuses not to do it. And then you need to come up with excuses, well, not excuses, you need to come up with reasons why those excuses are not valid. And this cycle continues one after another. And if you just can stop it and cut your brain off and be like, you know what, I'm just not going to think about that. I'm doing this, let me think about something else. Then you no longer have to come up with reasons why those excuses are not valid, because you don't have any excuses you're giving yourself. The half marathon I ran with my sister, mile 12 comes around and she's like, I'm tired. I'm like, physically? She's no, mentally. I'm like, why? She's like, I just can't push myself any harder. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm like, you said why are you thinking? Like, she was thinking about reasons why she didn't want to do it, and then coming up with, she was thinking of excuses on why she didn't want to do it, and then she was coming up with reasons why those excuses weren't valid, and trying to break down those walls. If you don't allow yourself to even come up with those excuses in the first place, then you don't have to think about it. When I take my ice baths, I don't think about, oh my god, man, it's like 40 degrees out right now and the water is cold. What I do is, it comes down to it, you don't think, you get in the water. You have a plan. Before you get in there, you're like, I know I can do 3 minutes perfectly safe. And for most people, you should be able to do 3 minutes perfectly safe if you're in actual decent shape at all. And you do those 3 minutes, and then you can get out. Later down the road, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do 20 minutes. And you don't allow yourself to come with excuses why you can't do that 20 minutes when you're in the water. You just don't let yourself even think about it. You stay present in the moment, and you look at the trees and the nature around you, and you get yourself out of your own head. And granted, when you go farther and farther, you're gonna need someone there who can pull you back and who knows your limits. So when I push myself further with the ice baths, I actually have my brother there to watch me, because I'm pushing myself into regions where I don't know what's safe anymore. And if I black out or something goes wrong with me, I need someone there to pull me out. But I plan that out beforehand. So that's what you do. You do the thinking. You're like, can I do this without dying? If the answer is yes, then shut your brain off and do it. But you need to know and rank up to that point where you can do it safely. Anyways, I'm gonna go inside and warm up.